Last week, the discussion was about the disaster of depression in this society. I mentioned that based on some surveys, more than 45 million people in this country suffer from anxiety and emotional disorder. And every day we have examples. This barbaric crime that happened yesterday in Florida, when this guy killed his own daughter and his 6 grandchildren, 3 boys and 3 girls, and then shot himself. 7 people. It is an obvious case of craziness, depression, and junoon. Some people think that to escape from anxiety and depression, let's use drugs and alcohol. They may relax themselves for a short period of time, but they bring deeper depression in the long term. I have many cases of people who come and they complain about their own life. Unfortunately, the technology that's supposed to bring more tranquility, it happened to be with more tension instead of more peace. People who come and say, I feel fear, I feel failure, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I have no appetite for food, for fun, for family, for anything. I can't make decision, I'm nervous, I get angry fast. What should I do? There are people who think that, well, if you are faithful, you are not supposed to be happy to begin with. And they may mention some verses in the Quran. قَالَ لَهُ قَوْمُهُ لَا تَفْرَحْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْفَرَحِينَ. Of course, this is about the community of Moses. They are talking to Kara, to Qarun. Qarun was so proud of his situation. They said, don't be too happy. But in this case, Qarun was happy out of pride and arrogance. He was happy because of the material. The Quran says, وَفَرِحُوا بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا مَتَاعٌ. They are so happy because of this material belongings or material position that they have. So basically, Quran doesn't condemn joy and happiness. It depends. If happiness is out of arrogance and negligence. There are, of course, some other ahadith or ayat that it says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ كُلَّ قَلْبٍ حَزِينٍ. If you are sad, this is something good. God does love a sad soul when the heart is full of sadness. This is something God likes it. But again, sadness in this case is for right reason. Obviously, you cannot be happy when you see the scenes of oppression and injustice and so much evil and corruption in the world. That doesn't make you happy. In this case, when you observe the suffering situation in human society, you are sad, and that is understandable. That makes sense. When you hear that 9 million people in Syria, they are out of their houses, and now the school start and their kids can't go to school, and they are refugees here and there, and millions of them in Iraq and in other parts of the Middle East and the Muslim world, that doesn't make you happy. When you hear about this deadly disease of Ebola is an African word, is accelerating. And today, as a matter of fact, just today in Sierra Leone, 9 million people were told to stay in their houses. Don't go to Friday prayer on Sunday, don't go to Sunday service. Stay at home because of the threat of this Ebola disease that's killing people left and right. That is a sad situation. Yeah, there are situations that happiness is not good and sadness is good. There is a verse in the Quran, وَأَعْيُنُهُمْ تَفِيضُ مِنَ الدَّمْعِ حَزَنًا أَلَّا يَجِدُوا مَا يُنْفِقُونَ. There are people who feel huzn, they feel sadness because they are not able to contribute to the community. They cannot do the infaq. And they are sad because say, oh God, there's so much must be done and I can't do anything. And they feel sad for this inability to do something to help the community. But if we go from these exceptional situations, basically, the Quran, the Islam did not come to bring sadness and anxiety and depression. The message of Moses, the message of Jesus, the message of Abraham, the message of Muhammad, peace be upon them all, was a message that brought happiness to human society. And this is why in the dua we say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-kasal wal-fashal wal-hamm wal-hazan, or al-huzn. That God, I take refuge in you from laziness, from failure, from sadness, from depression. Allahumma farrij hammi wa ghammi wa huzni kama kashafta an rasulika hammahu wa ghammahu wa huzna. As you remove this depression and this stress from your prophet, and he was under so much of stress, you know the life of the Holy Prophet, you and I, you could not handle that. But Allah removed that sadness and made him determined, made him enjoy his mission. And this is why we are saying this. Even in United States Declaration of Independence, there are 3 fundamental, undeniable rights for every citizen in this country. That is life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So happiness is a right. And it doesn't make sense that religion denies a human right. A right that God gave to everybody. The right of life and liberty and happiness. These are gifts from God. And religion did not come to deny these basic rights. As a matter of fact, the Quran is a book of happiness, a book that brought light and life and energy and motivation. As the Holy Prophet said, Allahumma inni as'aluka an taj'al al-Qur'an rabi'a qalbi wa nura basari wa jala'a huzni wa dhahaba hammi wa ghammi. Oh God, please make this book to be a source of light and activity and creativity and a life that brings a spring in my soul and light in my vision, in my eyes, and removes sadness, removes anxiety from my life. Of course, this Quran, the real Quran, with the right interpretation, is a source of happiness. But obviously the same Quran can be interpreted by the ISIS and becomes a source of hate rather than happiness, a source of hypocrisy. So we are talking not about the Quran of ISIS, we are talking about the Quran that Prophet Muhammad brought to humanity. The Quran that was interpreted by his true tradition, by the right sunnah, and with right family. So in this sense, Quran is saying, يا أيها الذين آمنوا قد جاءتكم موعظة من ربكم وشفاء لما في الصدور. This book is a source of healing. When you have healing, you have happiness. The depression comes from disease. That is an illness. That is not happiness. So the Quran tells us that if you are pious, if you are righteous, you are happy, you are blessed. ولو أن أهل القرى آمنوا واتقوا لفتحنا عليهم بركات من السماء والأرض. All the blessings from the sky and the earth come to the people of piety. Another verse says, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة ولنجزينهم أجرهم بأحسن ما كانوا يعملون. Whether you are man or woman, male or female, if you are faithful and you do the right thing, then you enjoy the spirit of hayat al-tayyiba, a life full of love and passion and respect and understanding and unity and compassion. This is the message of the Quran, the message of love and respect and passion and unity, not the message of depression and anxiety. Depression comes from devil, not from divine. إنما النجوى من الشيطان ليحزن الذين آمنوا. ليحزن, this حزن, this anxiety and depression is an operation of shaitan. This is the Satan who loves to see the people are depressed. There are 12 times in the Quran that Allah says, لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Who are those 12 groups? That they don't have fear, no sadness and anxiety. They don't. They are free and they are comfortable and they are healthy. ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. If you are a friend of God, why you are depressed? You know that He knows everything and He is a source of blessing. Whether you are up or down, whether you are in good shape or you go through some challenges and tests in your life, you know that He knows everything and He's observing everything. And you are protected. You have this faith and you have this connection. So you don't feel that you are just by yourself. You don't feel depressed. You have this safety and you have this protection. إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. If you are faithful and if you are firm in your faith, then no خوف, there is no fear, there is no huzn, no depression for people with this quality. And there are 12 verses. I don't have time to go through all. You may go to the Quran and read by yourself those 12 cases of لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. So if this is the case, why is that so many people live such a miserable life? 19% of adults in this country are depressed. If you go to the Middle East, maybe 90% of them are depressed. It's not 19, but 90. 19 here, 90 over there. What's wrong then? وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. When we cut our connection with our Creator, I'm not saying that they cut more connection more than here, but those who cause the problems over there are the ones who have no connection with their Creator. So when they are talking about faith, when they are talking about religion, they lie. You think this ISIS, they are talking about Sharia law and Islamic State? That's a big lie. That's not about God. That's not about heaven. Everything is about this world, حب الدنيا. يعلمون ظاهرا من الحياة الدنيا وهم عن الآخرة هم غافلون. It is all about material and power and domination and evil, devil desires. It's not about God, it's not about heaven. All this Taliban, Al-Qaeda, Nusra, Boko Haram, ISIS, other terrorists, other criminals. Yeah, they are using some innocent people, brainwashed, faithful but ignorant. But the ones, the agents, the operators, they don't share the same faith. They know what they are doing. And they know it's all about Hubbu Dunya, love for the world, not for the Lord. This is their motivation. They think that Islam is just have a long beard. As a matter of fact, when it's getting that long, is alamatu shaitan, that is the sign of the Satan, is not God anymore, because that's what we have it in hadith. That is a sign of stupidity when it's got that long. They think that you have such a long beard, and then in your hand a gun or a knife, just love to kill, love to destroy lives. You know that in Mosul now in Iraq, it is a crime if you even pronounce the word of democracy. It's a democracy is haram, don't say democracy. If you use the word of election, the word vote, the term of woman right or human rights, these are like forbidden. So we are talking about the cancer, we are talking about tumor that's going on. And that tumor, brother and sister, it is not only among a group, it is against our faith. It is against our faith. When we have an ignorant Oklahoma state senator, John Bennett, who just, he's a lawmaker in America, can you imagine, supposed to be an educated person. He just said Islam is a cancer in our nation that needs to be cut off. Well, if you are talking about Islam of ISIS, I agree with you. We don't need that kind of Sharia law, that kind of Islam. But if you are talking about Islam, and that is the impression of people, American people, when they hear Islam, they don't distinguish. They think Islam is just one thing, and Muslims are just one thing. No, that is Bin Laden and Baghdadi and others who are cancer for humanity and cancer for our faith and community. And now they are looking for a solution. Let us go and solve this problem in Iraq and Syria. How do you want to solve it, Mr. President? I agree with this Congressman Walter Jones, who said this decision of the Congress is very ridiculous. Now they are going to go there and have training bases in Saudi Arabia and have 5,000 people to be trained and be armed in Saudi Arabia and go there in Syria and Iraq, especially in Syria, to fight Daesh. Wow. So those people who are suffering, and they are killed and attacked, targeted by ISIS for so many years, they are not part of this alliance. But those people who created ISIS and gave you money and military and might and everything they needed, they gave it to them, like Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Now you want this guy to come and fight the terrorism of ISIS? I agree with another Senator Graham who said it just openly. He said it that the Saudis contributed to 9/11. They supported Al-Qaeda. And they are a monarchy that is committed to spread Wahhabism, that consider women just like cattle, that like animals that don't like exist and have no rights. They are not able even to drive a car. So you are asking these guys who were part of problem of 9/11 and terrorism in the Middle East and base for the ISIS, now you want them to come and to fight ISIS. This is ridiculous. That makes sense. That you want another 5,000, now you call it good terrorists, and tomorrow they are going to be bad terrorists. The ISIS were the same thing. Now you are fighting them, but already, our administrators were helping them. So it doesn't make sense, brothers and sisters. So what should we do as Muslim community? We know we have these challenges. First of all, don't be depressed. If the media is attacking Islam, if the media are attacking Muslims, we know about our faith, we know about our Quran. We should be very certain and very confident that we trust our Creator, we trust our teachings, we trust our traditions and our faith and our values and our moral principles, and we know our faith is about peace and justice and love and unity and brotherhood and understanding and interfaith and outreach to other communities. It is a universal message for humanity. It's not just for the Muslim. Ya ayyuhan nas. Our religion talks about nas, about people. When the Quran says if one life was taken, one innocent life was taken, it is to take the life of the whole humankind. The Quran doesn't say if one Muslim life was taken. It says one life. Whether it's Muslim, Christian, Jewish, atheist, whatever. If the person is innocent and his life or life was destroyed, this is an attack on humankind. This is our religion, so we should be very confident. But at the same time, there are challenges that we need to deal with that. Challenges about the family, challenges about our youth, about our community, about the problem of divorce in the community, drugs in the community, alcohol, adultery, addiction. There are so many things in our society influenced with the Hollywood culture that our community have to deal with that, because our children are influenced. It's not just parents. When the kids go to public school, when they go to market, when they go to the society, when they associate with everybody in the environment, so they are like everybody else. There was something just recently on YouTube, probably you saw that as a group of youth in the community, they had a hookah party. There was Argili party in some place in East Dearborn. And there was a mixed dance and music, and that was a big thing online now. I don't have time to talk about, maybe next week I'm going to just go through this. How should we as a community deal with this issue? There are thousands of comments online about this Argili thing. And I received so many emails from even other community, from the Ahl Sunnah community. And they talk about these girls, these boys in that hookah party, and they say, oh, now this is Dearborn. Now they are making even this one a sectarian, like this is now a Shia Sunni again, or this is a Muslim and non-Muslim thing again. And some people are ignorantly using this in a negative way, and we have to deal with that. We have to deal with so many other challenges. That we have this situation, and then at the same time, how come that, Dearborn is a Argili party and dancing and music and alcohol and this and that, but at the same time, this is a terrorist city. What about that? We had a meeting, the director of FBI was asking the Imam's Council to meet with us for the last few months, and he joined our council meeting just last week, as a matter of fact this week, just a few days ago. And I was the first one to raise to Paul the name of the new director of FBI in Michigan, and I told him that, how come there was a report that Detroit is a terrorist center or terrorist city? And when you heard, as a person in charge of FBI in Michigan, what was your reaction and what did you do about that? And he said that, well, I said that that is wrong, the information was false, Dearborn is a safe city, Dearborn is not a terrorist city. And he said, by the way, this came from NTCP, that is the organization, National Counter Terrorist Center in DC. So it was, the report was not from FBI, but from NTCP. And he said that I did oppose that report through our channels, through Washington, D.C. But then he said, this is the responsibility of you guys, as community leaders and politicians and officials in the city, to get involved and to tell them this is wrong. This is not what the mosque is about. This is not what our community is about. We are anti-terrorism and we are victims of terrorism for so many years. So this is another challenge that brings up what I said last week, brothers and sisters, that we must start from engagement. That is our first duty, engagement, engagement, engagement. If the community doesn't get involved, alhamdulillah, we are proud of so many great people in our community. So many people who are contributing to the country through the hospital, through universities, colleges, education, business area, in all different dimensions. And we are ahead of some other communities when it comes to the question of engagement. But with the potential of our people in this area, we must be more involved. And more engagement is a must. Of course, Mosque Islamic House of Wisdom try its best. We try our best. We try to do whatever we can to outreach, to educate, to bring more awareness, to contact with other communities, and to improve the image of our faith and our community and telling the truth, say it like it is. But then it's not enough. We have to have support of everyone. We recently formed an advisory council, and I'm very honored and happy to see so many of leaders from our community. They got together just last Wednesday to go through the priorities, the problems, the challenges, the opportunities, and what are our duties as Muslims, an Arab Muslim community, an American community in this area where we are facing all of these youth and family and political and terrorist questions all over. So there are some people obviously that they talk about it, they complain, but when you ask them that just come once a month, just for 1 hour, and tell us what you think, they're not ready even to do that much. And then really that brings the question of engagement. One example is Salatul Jummah. Out of tens of thousands of faithful in this community, look at our audience on Fridays. What is the percentage of people who participate in prayer on Friday? I'm not talking about every day. Now see my son, that Muhammad Hussein, last time when his mom told him that, go to bed, Muhammad said, you have to go to school early morning, go to bed. And he's just 4 years old. And I was working down the stairs and I heard upstairs he's crying. And why he's crying now? And she went and he told his mom that, Mom, are you sure you are going to come tomorrow from the school? He go to preschool now. He said, are you sure that you are going to come and take me to Friday prayer? I want to come to Friday prayer. Well, subhanAllah, this is a blessing. Not all of my children have the same, on the same page. I wish all of them were like that. But at least encouragement from the family to encourage them to come to Salatul Jummah and to make our places perfect through our prayer and our participation in ما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله. And we need, in addition to our work and action, we need lots of prayer to say ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. We ask you, Allah, to bless us with good families, good children, good neighborhood, and good community and good country. We need to pray, but at the same time we need to work. There is need for action, brothers and sisters. And one thing about House of Wisdom, we are about action. We are not wasting our time. When we say something, we mean it and we are serious about it. And we work, if we have to go to other part of the world to defend the truth, we are ready to do it. And we are ready to pay the price. But we need more ansar and we need more helper. You are our helper, inshallah. And we want you to increase this help and support through bringing more encouragement to your family and neighborhood. And bring more people in the salat, more people in election, more people for voting, more people for helping the poor, more people to stand against terrorism and extremism. Our power is the power of prayer and the power of people. Unity of prayer and unity of people. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر وإلى الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.